Yes, we are live. I
Live.
mean, hey everyone. First thing I want you to read is say hi and tell us where you're from. That's the first thing. Once you do that, I'll put it on the screen. Just put your comments, your questions, anything that you have to say. Let's make this a Q&A about moving to Riviera Maya with me, Silvia Galambosi, and we have a special guest. Silvia, go ahead and introduce.
Yes, hi everyone. We have a special guest, Jeff Natali. He's he's a person that his name, and he probably doesn't know this, but probably is guessing. I've known his name from the very first minute I moved to Playa del Carmen, and why is
Wow.
that? He established the biggest Facebook group for expats living in the region. And so that's, of course, the first run to place for everyone who moves into the region. And then you ask your question. It's a beautiful community, really nicely moderated community as well. And then a lot of the questions that I initially had were answered by Jeff. So I haven't known you in person or personally. We've only recently connected for specifically for the scouting trip. But so that you know, your name's been really familiar to me for 5 years now. So Jeff
Wow,
is
thank
an
you.
expert in Playa del Carmen, and we're honored to have you on this live today.
Thank you.
Wow.
My family says I should run for mayor, but well, it's
Yes.
actually possible because I just finished my citizenship, and I'm just waiting for my letter, and then I would be completely legal to be able to run for office. But that's another story.
Absolutely. So
That's
tell us,
insane.
it is insane. And I know that you've written a book about all the knowledge and experience that you've lived in Playa del Carmen. We're here in the Mexican Caribbean, in a city called Playa del Carmen. Both Jeff and myself, we've lived here. As I said, I have lived here for only 5 years. But Jeff, tell us a little bit about your story. How long you've been here? Why? How? What's in that book? I'm really curious.
Well, the book came out of joining the Facebook groups, and I saw that there were so many questions every day of people who were moving here, and they spent so much time working on getting to Mexico that they didn't really do a lot of research about where they wanted to live. So I've been coming to Mexico since 1982. That was my first trip in to Mexico. Went to actually Mexico City and Merida. The following year, I came back and I went to Cancun, and I spent a little time in the resorts there. I got bored, and I went for a day trip all the way down to Tulum. So as we were passing Playa del Carmen, I saw this little sign on the road that said Escaret. And Escaret, way back in 1982, 1983, was nothing. It
It
was
was
just
not like what it is today, for sure.
not at all. And, it was the dream of one person to create a big park. But at the time, it wasn't even a little pueblo. And I said, that's a really, really cool name. I want to live here. And at that point, I had no idea where life was going to take me. I ended up getting married, having kids. That's another story. And but,
Happens.
but it's a
And
good
Pablo was saying,
story.
by the way, Jeff, Pablo was saying when you mentioned 1982 that that was your first time to Mexico, he mentioned that he was born that year.
Put it
So
on the screen. I don't know if you can see it, but I
I
decided.
saw that, yeah.
Well, I was young and foolish back then, and of course Cancun was like the hot spot to go to. But anyway, I saw this little sign on the side of the road, and I said, I want to live here. So let's fast forward 35 years. I start coming to Playa del Carmen in 2010, and just for vacations. I had been going to the Dominican Republic, and I was considering that as a place to retire. But then I came here, and after seeing that little sign, I said, I want to live here. So in 2010, I started coming, and I was staying in the resorts. And then I said, no, this is not for me. I started staying in small boutique hotels downtown. And around 2013, I said, okay, I'm getting to the age where I'm going to retire soon, and I need to start thinking about the future. So I started looking for homes, and I looked for 3 or 4 months. I went all over Playa trying to decide where I wanted to live. So the last place they brought me to was just south of Playa. And then we passed the same sign that I saw 35 years ago. And I said, there's got to be something around here. So I live 2 kilometers from that sign right now, and very, very happy. I've been, I bought my house in 2014, and but I didn't live in it for 5 years. I decided that I was going to put myself on a 5 year track for retirement and continue to work and build up, a little bit of finances. And then in 2019, I said, that's it, I'm done. And in December, I moved here permanently with 5 suitcases and my parrot. Keto is very famous here. She's 25 years old. She's been with me since 2000. And that's another story. That was my first taste of Mexican bureaucracy and corruption.
I remember your post about that on that Facebook group. I so remember that post when you written out the whole story and what it took to move her and all that. Yeah.
Oh God, we arrived at like 12 o'clock in the afternoon. I went to the OISA offices to check in with all their paperwork, and I was almost deported the same day that we arrived.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
There's a lot of things to be careful.
I was detained in the airport almost 14 hours. And luckily, there was no seats on the plane to go home. And we ironed out an agreement with the Mexican government that she could stay. And 3 months later, we finally got it resolved. And she's as Mexican as I am now.
So nice. So as you hear, Jeff has a lot of stories, and I know you live in Bali Residencial. I used to live there too. I think we discussed that we live really close to each other for some time. It's a beautiful place, and moving a pet abroad, I think Pablo has a lot of expertise and a lot of knowledge about that, because that's what he does. He helps people to move abroad, helps to ship their things, and absolutely is aware of all these things. So when you move to a different country, there's so many things you have to take care of. And go ahead, Pablo, do your technical things that you need to fix. It's all fine.
Yeah. I need to charge my computer. Hold on.
Yeah, please go ahead. And so when you have some sort of a support when you move abroad, I think it's priceless. It's gold.
Oh, absolutely. If you don't understand what you're getting into, arriving here cold with the attitude, I'll figure it out when I get there, it's a recipe for disaster. Back in the United States, we have,
or at least it's going to take you double or triple the time and double and triple the hassle and frustration and all that. Exactly.
All that stuff. Back in the US, we have a public service number you call 511. And it's basically for transport services, but the moniker is know before you go. So that was the whole premise of an expat's guide to living in Playa del Carmen. Everything that you could possibly need to know about living here, from the time you step off the plane until you get all your documentation, the culture, tradition. I started to cover it all because there's so much to learn about this area. And the more you know, the more you will enjoy it.
Absolutely. And so this is why we're so happy and thrilled and absolutely excited to help ExpatSi to organize their first scouting trip to this area. They're a company who help people move abroad, and their focus is to actually get them moved abroad. And they've been organizing scouting trips to different areas of Mexico. Hi, Pablo, welcome back. But this is their very first scouting trip to the Riviera Maya, where we're not only going to cover Playa del Carmen, which is the love of Jeff and myself, but we're also going to take them to Cancún, to Tulum, to Acumal, to Puerto Aventuras, and even to the island of Cozumel. And So anyone who signs up for the tour will have a chance to have lunch with Jeff on the very first day to hear more about the book, to hear more about his own experience. We're going to have other expats joining us. So you have a community where you land into. So, to make it as soft of a landing as possible. And whatever information you collected in that book can be so helpful. I sort of made a very quick decision. We decided to move to Mexico from Hungary, which is the other side of the world, landlocked right in the heart of Europe, in 3 weeks. Because they said the second wave of COVID is going to hit Europe. They were threatening with closing everything down. We did own a property. Funnily enough, Jeff, we've been owning a property since December 2019, exactly when you moved, here in Playa del Carmen. And we made a decision in 3 weeks saying, okay, we're not only coming for vacation, but we're probably not going to return. And
Right.
so instead of a 3-week vacation, it ended up being an 8-month stay with kids in schooling and figuring out everything on our own. And my run-to place would be you and your Facebook group for a lot of information. And also as an expat coach myself, I help people with decision making. I help people with all the emotional part of settling into a new country. To have that kind of a support is gold. To have information, to have people you can turn to is gold. So on the first day of the scouting trip, we will also have a seminar where we include all the experts that Jeff mentions in the book, not necessarily those people, but those processes that he talks about: immigration, shipping, real estate or corporate law, how to invest here, taxation, decision-making, healthcare, medical advice. These experts will all be part of that seminar on the first afternoon to share as much information as possible. So we're really, truly excited to have you as part of our trip and also to share all the information that we can. Because if it was not easy for us, let's make it easier for others. We have the knowledge, we have the
Absolutely. In my book, I have hundreds of topics that are covered. And the funny thing about moving to Mexico is you can't just talk about one topic without including 10 or 15 other topics.
So do you do this already, Jeff? Do you tend to do this already?
I'm sorry, say again?
Do you tend to do this already?
Oh, yes. I learned that in the Yucatan. And I learned this at the traffic light. I learned this when I talked to my neighbor.
When you don't speak, you just do this. It means yes. It's like nodding. Yeah. So yeah.
Wow. What is this?
This I don't know. We don't do
That
this.
one I
We
don't
do
know.
this. We do this like this. It means
I learned
yes.
This one I learned at the traffic light. Don't wash my
no. And this is yes. So you do this when you speak and you're drinking or eating and you cannot nod with your head and you don't want to interrupt. You do this. It means, sí, I follow, I understand. Yes, I agree.
Did you learn this one?
No.
No?
Oh,
You're colo. You're cheap.
They're cheap. Yeah.
All right. No, I don't.
That's
know.
international. Yeah, that's
No, well, not in Hungary, I'm telling you.
No, I guess that's Latin America.
That's Latin America. And this one means it costs a lot. It costs a lot.
Right. Okay.
A lot of money.
A lot of money.
Nice.
Stacks of money. Yeah.
Yeah.
Interesting.
There's so many little things that you learn here. And I spoke Spanish before I came to Mexico, and I worked for Macy's department stores, and it was in operations. So if I didn't speak Spanish, I didn't get my stores clean. Then I left and I went to landscaping. So if I didn't speak Spanish, I didn't get any work done. But to be honest with you, moving here and my first time I went into the bank, it was like, huh? It's like nobody taught me anything about banking or the vocabulary for specific things. The funny thing was after I bought the house, I would go to like Aguacon, which would be the water company, or CFA, the electric company, and I would see all these Mexicans carrying these huge folders of documents and saying, what is that all about? Are they just like super organized? Is it? Well, here it is 6 years later, and everywhere I go, there's my folder of documents. So you really become acclimated, and you start to think exactly how the locals think, and you have to act the same way. And otherwise, you'll never survive.
Yeah, and this has come up in one of our conversations earlier, Jeff, that life is so much easier when you let yourself submerge in the culture, in the language, have the right connections, connect with the locals and all this. And then you and me both know people who have moved from the United States and never really did that, and they're still good and they're still happy. And they have those couple helpers in their lives who go with them, who speak English and go with them and arrange all the official things that they have to, or take them for shopping if they want to. So that's possibly absolutely doable. Yet I agree with you.
Absolutely.
Life is nicer when you submerge.
I mean, I speak the language, I understand the system, but I still use facilitators every once in a while for specific things. Dealing with the tax agency SAT, I will always use a facilitator. I could never have never navigated the whole naturalization program without a facilitator. I mean, I went to my meeting in Merida for the exams with a stack of 200 pages of documents that I would never have figured out that I needed all of this stuff. And
can I ask you a funny question? Because it's so exciting that you got your Mexican citizenship. So this is what's the naturalization process. This is where it ends. You can start with a temporary residency for a couple of years. I got mine for 4 years, that then converts into a permanent residency. And if you've been here for 8 years, you can actually apply for a Mexican citizenship. And you know what I've heard? And I wanted to cross-check it with someone who's actually done the process. There's this super famous, absolutely Mexican singer called Luis Miguel. And
Yeah.
I've heard that on the exam, you actually have to quote one of his songs. And you actually have lyrics. Is that true?
You know what? It wouldn't surprise me, but one of the benefits of being older, over 60 years of age, I did not have to take the cultural exam.
All right. Well,
I only had to pass the Spanish language portion of it.
okay. Well, you
But
know,
the funny thing is, when I was during that section, the questions come up on the screen, and I started to laugh when I read the first one, and the agent who's behind the screen, he's like looking at me like, "What's so funny?" I didn't say a word because I was terrified. But I had written some of the stories about the mythology of Mexico, the Mayan and Aztec. Would you believe the first 4 questions were about Zasilha and Zasi? And I had written a whole chapter about that about 2 weeks earlier.
So amazing. So amazing. Oh my God, that's so amazing. Yeah, you actually do have a set of questions. So you basically get almost like a book, some material based on what you can prepare yourself for the cultural exam. And yes, there is a language test. Well, I purposefully went to a Luis Miguel concert to get myself prepared for that part of the exam. When it comes, it's probably another 5 years before I can actually do that. But I did go to one of his concerts. He came down to Cancun, because you hear Luis Miguel everywhere you go. So.
Oh, I know. I go to this taqueria on the west side, and every time I go in there, they have videos playing, and one of them is Luis Miguel from a big concert in Chile. I've probably seen it 10 times now. So I said, "Oh wait, this is a good part coming up. We can't leave yet."
Yeah. Also, you mentioned Xcaret. Xcaret is this huge I don't know, would you call it an amusement park or a national park or a fun park or an activity park? I don't even know what to call it or how they
I would
officially,
call it more of an eco park.
like an eco park, but it has a lot of adventures built in. It's on the beach, in the jungle. At the same time, it has
Oh, absolutely.
underwater rivers and cenotes. It's massive. Like a whole day is not enough to see that park. And they have this amazing show every single night.
Yes.
Uh, in at 7 o'clock it starts. It's massive. There's a lot of dancing and history and culture, and they showcase the different states with their different music and different dances and different costumes. It's amazing, and it always finishes with the same song of Luis Miguel. Así se siente México, México en tu piel. I love that song. It's so nice. It's so nice.
Gotta get
Yeah,
Luis Miguel on the screen.
I've been quite a few times, and I'm not Mexican by birth, and the show is just fantastic.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm not ashamed to admit I cry at the end all the
Mm-hmm.
time because
Me too. I can't help it.
you are just so full of pride to be
Yeah.
here
Yeah.
and to see the culture and the tradition that is just all around you. It's amazing, and you can't help but not feel it.
Mhm.
Because if you're here to live, you're part of it. If you're here to stay, you're not going to embrace it. But if you're here to live, it really, it gives me goosebumps talking
Yeah,
about it.
me too. Me too. It does get under your skin. As
It
the
does.
song is called, it does get under your skin. I completely agree with you. And to talk about Xcaret and to channel it back to our scouting trip ends on the 31st of October, which is just the day of the death. It's Dia de los Muertos. It's that now. Oh, there we go, Luis
There
Miguel.
he is.
There's a Netflix series about his life, actually. It's an interesting one to
In
watch.
case somebody wants to know who are we talking
Yeah,
about.
that's Luis Miguel. So there will be, we're offering an optional tour or excursion to Xcaret on the night of the day of the death on the 31st of October. So if people want to go and experience Xcaret style Dia de Muertos, it's amazing.
Nobody puts a party on like Xcaret. It is
Yes.
the most amazing
Yeah.
thing, and they do all kinds of festivals all through the year. But Dia de Muertos is one of the most incredible ones.
Yeah.
Okay. Have you ever been to the Travesía Sagrada?
The Travesía, I haven't, but I have to. Well, I'm going to be honest. I have to get up really early to do that. So I think
4 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah. So that's been the thing. But once you live here and you have your residency, you actually get a yearly pass to Xcaret for almost the same price as a daily access would be to it if you're a tourist. So
Exactly.
it's something amazing to take advantage of. We've had that pass for years and years, and we would go basically every weekend with the kids, and we've explored all the corners and everything. It's nice. But the Travesía, I haven't done. I probably will go to Cozumel and receive them on the other side, which is beautiful too.
I haven't done that part of it, but I have done the Travesía,
Nice.
and
Nice.
it's just an overwhelming experience. And I get to speak a little Maya when I go to the
No
Kiwi.
way.
Yes.
Nice. So the Travesía is that in those ancient wooden canoes that they carve out of tree trunks, they
Exactly.
actually, in those ancient canoes, they go over from Playa del Carmen or Xcaret to Cozumel. They
And
cross
back again.
and back again. So it's like mind-blowing. It's a beautiful, beautiful piece of culture. Paulo, you want to talk a little bit about the scouting trip itself, where people will have the chance to live the experience together with Jeff and yourself and myself.
Yes, first of all, I'd like to say that this is important. I mean, I feel guilty sometimes because people will hire me to move everything from Canada or United States to Cancun. But they pay me, but again, year and a half later, because they did not adjust. They didn't realize how hard it was this going to be. So it becomes kind of like my mission to just connect with people like you guys and share and let people know what is to move abroad. And having a scouting trip like this which I have participated and done similar things in other countries like Costa Rica and Panama. It's very, very useful. First, you get to meet people like Sylvia and Jeff, and you get to start your journey with a network of people that can help you, and also with a network of other people who are dreaming about the same thing you're dreaming, who are looking to do the same thing that you're doing. So you're not alone, because living abroad could be a lonely journey as well. So you're getting good contacts, but also you're getting to meet people that are doing the same thing. So I'm very passionate about this scouting trips, regardless of you moving to Mexico or Costa Rica or many other countries, because I think people get that additional support from the very beginning. It's a soft landing, or at least it's easier. And on day number one, we're basically going to cover, 5 days. I'm going to go quickly. 1, 2, 3, 3, 4.
Very quickly, Pablo.
And as you can see, there's a lot of things that are going to be happening on these days. It all starts on October 27th, and it's not how long it's almost to be. You don't have that much time, and you have to start making the reservations, because it's not just the reservation of the trip. You have to figure out where to stay and many other things. So it's about time for people to start making those reservations. On day number one, we'll do walking tour in Fifth Avenue, Playa del Carmen. We talk a little bit about the real estate, the lifestyle options, and the highlight of the day to me is the seminar. We already talked about it. A little bit of immigration, shipping, real estate, taxes, and then we finish with the Mexican buffet dinner and the networking. It's going to be a really important day to get the context of everything is going to happen during the next days. Day number two. So let you describe this area a little bit, Sylvia, or maybe Jeff, you want to talk about Puerto Venturas and Playa Car.
You can go ahead, Sylvia.
So, the focus of this trip, and I've just realized that this is my purpose with this trip. I really want people to fall in love with the Riviera Maya. Like, this is completely the purpose that I'm putting behind for myself. And so we're showing all those areas from a living and zoning perspective that people might like. We'll show a diversity of different housing options, and Puerto Venturas and Playa Car are two of those gated communities where a lot of expats, a lot of people from the States, Canada, Europe would choose to live. It's very different from other parts of Playa that we're covering on the first day. So we want to give this overview of everything. But then also on the other side, the whole region is quite touristic. It has a lot of nature, a lot of cool things to do. So we're including some sort of a culture or nature adventure in every single day. So apart from looking at Puerto Venturas and Playa Car, we also will be doing a cooking class, and we'll be doing tequila and mezcal tasting on our second day. So that's super exciting.
And we'll all be there, hopefully. And if you have questions, feel free to just ask anything while we're all together.
Exactly.
Even though you may not. Well, how should I put this? Okay. There are so many different areas of Playa. And they say, well, I don't want to live far from downtown. I don't want to live here. I don't want to live here. The whole purpose of this is to show you the entire picture. Okay. Because people's attitudes and people's minds can change once they see other parts of the city. Even in my tours, I said, well, I'm not interested in the northern part of Playa. But once we go through and say, no, this is a possibility. Yeah. Because there's so many diverse areas here in Playa to fall in love with. I mean, even on some of my tours, I'll take you and say, hey, let's go to Akumal for lunch. You haven't even thought about Akumal.
Uh,
30 minutes down the road, and we're sitting on the Half Moon Bay having margaritas. It's like, okay, we have to go back to Playa now. No, we don't want to go.
Yeah, you want to talk about that part of the trip, Pablo? Because I know your love is also
well,
Tulum and Akumal.
this is my two favorite locations. But I love Playa del Carmen. Really like Cancun as well. But I like small towns. I like to maybe walk or getting a bike and just get to a coffee place. And I like also the feeling of going to a little tienda or supermarket or wherever I go. I like to meet the people, right? So it's like, hey, good morning, how are you? And having that interaction, and that's easier in a smaller town like Tulum or Akumal. Uh, Tulan is Akumal is beautiful. We will doing a little bit of eco luxury real estate tour, and the highlight of the day I think is all the adventure because we have on that day an ATV ride, Cenotes, Zipline, and optional if you want to continue, we will visit Xochimilco as well. So that's a lot for a day.
I'm
Um,
in for Xochimilco.
yeah, it's it's a lot of a lot of learning and exploring at a good area that is a smaller like town, but it's also very touristy.
Mhm.
So it's something for you to consider. But also all the different activities. We're moving to day number 4.
That takes us to day number 4, which is my favorite. We're going over to Cozumel. Cozumel is this island. It still has about 100,000 population. So it's not very small, but it's a walkable city with a great big expat community actually living on the island very happily, I have to say. The ones that I know, yes, they drink margaritas very frequently, and they're a nice gang of people. So it's an island, and the way we go over, we're going to take a ferry in the morning. It takes about 40 minutes more or less to get to the island, and straight from where we dock we're going to take a catamaran, and we're going to do a catamaran tour around the beautiful waters of Cozumel. We're going to be able to do some snorkeling for those who are up for it, because Cozumel has the second biggest and most beautiful barrier reef of the whole globe, right after Australia. So it's definitely something we want to show you. I'm a scuba diver, 25 years into scuba diving, and Cozumel has my heart. Um, we will have real estate specialists, brokers on board with us on the catamaran trip. And when we say that, it's important to mention that every single day we're going to have someone who's into that area from a real estate perspective to help us with information. It's not going to be the same company or the same person. We're involving more people, so our guests have a variety of who they would like to contact with, or who they would like to talk with. But on board the catamaran, we will already have people to talk about zoning and living and how it is like to live on the island. And we'll do a walk afterwards on the island to get to know the city itself. So it's beautiful, beautiful. Again, this is the place that I fell in love with. I used to work for Princess Cruises from 1999. That wasn't yesterday. And we used to dock in Cozumel. So my first time there was like in the early 2000s. My first time in Playa del Carmen was in 2006, Jeff. And
Wow.
Mariposa, the little boutique hotel Mariposa, right across from the old Vagabunda, was already there. This is where I stayed in 2006. And so Cozumel has been bottom of my heart ever since. It's an amazing spot, and I'm honored and truly thrilled to be able to show that to everyone on that trip too.
And Cozumel has such contrasting sides of the island. One is so picturesque and paradisical, and the other side is just crashing waves and big beautiful rocks, and it's just so diverse. And there's even ruins out on the island too if you want to go visit.
Exactly. Exactly. You know what? There's one thing I've never mentioned about Cozumel. But if you're into marine life, and not only from a diving perspective, the turtles are hatching right now. So the sea turtles, green turtles, loggerheads, white turtles come and nest on the outer side of Cozumel. They close that area for this month during the night. So the little turtles that hatch and want to find the sea, they follow the moonlight. So they close that area, they close the road so they don't get confused by the lights of the cars passing by. And I've been lucky enough to go to several turtle excursions. I have seen these big, massive mama turtles putting down their eggs, only using red lights so we don't bother them. That's something you can do in Cozumel if you're in the season. I've also gone to I'm getting emotional. Sorry. I've also gone to little baby release excursions. So where we would be getting little baby turtles with plastic gloves because you're not allowed to touch them, and we would let them to go and find the sea themselves. These were turtles that were rescued from their nest because a hurricane was passing by. And they didn't want the hurricane to ruin those nests, so they took them out. There's this association who works with that, and released them. And the last experience that I had that was like the most touching, even when turtles hatch themselves, there's about 100, 120 eggs in each nest. It's a big hole that the mama turtle digs, lays the eggs, and then covers it, and then drags herself back to the sea super tight. So one turtle starts to hatch, which then resonates the whole nest, and all the other little turtles hatch as well and go and find the sea. But there's always the last ones who cannot make it on their own. So we've gone to this search and rescue with my kids, and we were digging into nests that had already hatched. And we found 12 little turtles that were still alive but would have died had we not saved them.
Wow.
And we could release them ourselves, and we named them. And oh my God, it was years and years ago. And I still have to say, my kids are quite big, but they love bedtime tales still. And sometimes I still have to tell them tales about the little turtles that we managed to save. So yeah, there's all kinds of things you can do in Cozumel. Go ahead, Pablo. Day number 5. I'm getting carried away. Sorry.
Lastly, we have on October the 31st, which is Halloween, right? A day before Dia de los Muertos, we're visiting the largest city, which is it's a logistics hub. You know, you have flights from like everywhere to Cancun, from Cancun to everywhere, short flights to United States or Latin America. So it's a great location for you to be. And if you need to escape or maybe go visit Costa Rica, Panama, or Colombia, you can take a flight direct from there to South America. But you want to come back home, you can fly back to the United States or Canada from Cancun, or also to Europe. But it's the largest city. What would you say? It's about 1 million people that live in Cancun?
It's a little over 1 million.
So this is where you can find everything. You can find whatever you need. It's
Costco.
Costco, yes.
You find a Costco. So it's kind of like an easy, it's an easy way to move. Like Riviera Maya, I would say it's one of the easiest places to move. I mean, you have everything. You have nature. If you want to connect with nature, you have activities. You have health and wellness. You have amazing food. You have Costco if you wanna shop in Costco. You can also go like in this particular day. We're gonna go to the markets. We're gonna shop like a local. We're gonna have a tour about that. Explore the hotel zone, the marina. There's a lot more to cover and to discover. So yeah, invite everybody that is thinking about moving abroad, thinking about moving to Mexico. Give Riviera Maya a chance. I think it's one of the easiest places people can move to, from like anything you can think of, to like movie theaters, to golf course, to sports, water sports, from education, from good schools to healthcare, everything. It's in this region of the country. Easy. And also a vivid expat community, I would say. It's a really active expat community.
Exactly.
Definitely.
Exactly.
Did I say that right? Yeah.
You did it really well. Thank you. Yeah.
You know what's cool about the Riviera Maya, especially here in Playa del Carmen. Everyone that you speak to local wise and you ask them, where are you from? They will tell you every other part of Mexico except for the younger generation, which is now born in Playa del Carmen. So that's why we have such a mix of regional food up and down the coast, because everyone from here is basically not from here, and they brought their cuisine with them. And it includes also international, because we are so big in tourism here. Mediterranean, Lebanese, anything that you could think of is here.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Amazing. And last, I mean, to finish up, it's been 40 minutes. We just have to let you know there is a promotion discount for this month. So if you are, and I put the information on the screen of this scouting trip, if you are one person and sign in this month, which is the month is about to finish, you can get, if you type in and the link is in the description below, Mexico one, $150 discount. And if you are two, you come in as a couple, you type Mexico two, $250 discount. We're gonna get to meet you. I think it's a great opportunity for you to do things right. You're looking to move abroad, you want to do it right with a group of experts and getting all this information. This is a good opportunity. I will be there, and I'd love to meet you in person. Yeah, that's about it. It's been 40 minutes.
Yeah, it was very informative. Thank you so much, Jeff, for sharing all your knowledge, your vibe, your attitude, your smiles. Truly honored.
Thank you so much for having me.
Sounds good.
Thank you. Thank you. Have a good one.
Bye-bye.